This can continue, okay. You can find tertiary basis by taking A1, B1, A1 and so on. So many, that is the way you get your tensors which are 3 indexed object, moment of inertia has 2 indexed object, quadrupole moment has 2 indexed object. So, if you want to get a 2 indexed object, it has to belong to a binary basis. If you want to get 3 indexed object, it has to belong to a tertiary basis. And how to construct the tertiary basis is to take tensor product of primary basis number of times, apply a projection operator and find out the basis. Okay. In this case it was trivial because they are all one dimensions, but we will do a non-trivial C3V now. So, this was with the matrix representations which you can use, but you can also replace this by a formal operator G operator. Okay. So, you can write PA1, the projection for the irreducible representation, as the character for the group elements in the representation A1, and then you can also put the G operator and not worry about the matrix representations for it, because the matrix representations depends on the dimensionality of your vector space. This is also another way of doing it. Okay. So, this is where you can apply PA1. If you remember, in the harmonic oscillator I said that this Hamiltonian is invariant under x going to minus x. It has a group symmetry which is isomorphic to permutations of 2 objects or the C2 group. This is something which I said, and you can see that if I operate it on psi of x, the projection operator for an irrep A1 on psi of x, using it, this is a operator form of it which I am writing. Okay. So, operators are typically denoted by. So, if you do this, then you see that it will give you the plus sign for the C2 operation. This one anyway is plus 1 identity operator, and so this will be your projection operator or any wave function. It will project you to a subspace which is an even function. Similarly, if you do projection operator of B1 on psi of x, what will happen? This has to be replaced by B1. B1 character table is 1 and minus 1. So, what will the thing be? First element of course is, for the identity element is plus 1. Okay, the G operator is an identity operator, so that will remain as psi of x. The second element character for the B1 irrep is minus 1. So, all your which wave functions, ground state, second excited state, fourth excited state, and all belongs to which irrep in the harmonic oscillator. This projector projects it onto a even wave function. So, even wave functions are, A1 is contains ground state, second excited state, all even, and similarly this means B1 contains first excited state, third excited state, all odd excited states. So, you do see that just the group symmetry, which is the simplest group symmetry C2, has helped you to say that the wave functions which you are going to find or the solutions which you are going to find has to be two one dimensional representations. By one dimensions you mean that it is either going to be, the A1 is a one dimensional irrep, the projector will give you only a one dimensional state. So, it is either even if it is projecting onto an irrep A1, if it is projecting onto an irrep B1, it should be an odd wave function. Okay. So, now let me come to one non-trivial example. I did this simple 1 cross 1 matrix which is not that important, but it is a warm up. So, let us take this. We have been doing on the C3V the 2 cross 2 matrix representations, which are nothing but your rotation matrices, right. Rotation matrices sigma V, we have written it many times. And I also told you that you can do a tensor product. So, this tensor thing is not coming, but this will give you a reducible representation. Okay. So, I think I have a matrix example here. So, E of this E refers to the 2 dimensional irreducible representation of C3V for the element C3. Okay. So, that is what? That is just a rotation by 120 degrees, which we have gone through many times. What is the corresponding vector space? It is just 2 dimensional vector space, and we can take the basis to be the xy basis. Is that clear? Are you all with me? So, now you do the tensor product of E cross E. Let us do it. Gamma E, I am going to use the shorthand notation as E for G. I am going to work it out for C3 minus or plus. Okay. It will act on the basis, the corresponding basis. Let me take it as x1, y1 and take a tensor product. So, I want to do a tensor product. So, let me write it here. Which I am going to denote it as E cross E. This is 2 cross 2, this is 2 cross 2. This will be multiplied, is going to give me a 4 cross 4, which is reducible, and I am confining myself to C3. You can do it on every element of C3V, just for an exercise I am doing it for you here. Okay. So, what do you have to do? You have to take this 2 cross 2 matrix, take the first element minus half and multiply with all the 4 elements, right. So, let us write that here. That is the first block. Second block will be minus root 3 by 2 with minus half, minus root 3 by 2. You understand what I am doing, right? Are you all with me? So, I have written the 2 by 2 block. Write this, this is one block, this is another block. I need to do the same thing here. What will be the multiplication? It will be this element multiplying all the 4 elements. right. Let me write this as the E, okay, you understand what I am saying. The last one will be a minus half with the same. This is what I have simplified here and put it on the screen for you, so that you can check it out. Okay. These are the 4 cross 4 matrix representation. What is the basis vector? This one is x1 y1. Let us take for this one x1 y1, this one as x2 y2. Okay. So, the basis vector for this will be x1 x2, x1 y2, then y1 x2, y1 y2. Is that right? Am I right? Okay. This is a reducible vector space. I want to use the projector to find out what is the irreducible subspace. Okay. Is that fine? Here mechanically we took B1 times B1 and said it is A1 by looking at it, but technically you should be able to take the reducible representation and break it up and see how many components are there, right. So, you can do that here. Yeah. Which same? No, no, it is the same representation, but one is acting on particle 1, another one is acting on particle 2, or one is acting on the position space, one is acting on the momentum space. So, you can take it like that. You can also do it on the same particle twice, that is a different thing. Then you will have quadratic powers, that is what I wrote here, like you can do C1, C2, C1 squared is like on the same basis, but this is on a 2 different spaces. That is why the. So, all those finer details can be worked depending upon whether both are same space or different spaces. Right now I am taking it as like, let us take a, this is something which you have been doing mechanically. I am sure you have all been doing 2 spin half particles, you combine and then you find the irreducible subspace. Now I am trying to tell you that this is purely from this projection, purely from multiplicity. When you take the tensor product, what are the irreps, how many times it occurs, and then the projection operator will tell you what are the subspaces. Okay. This one which I have written is a reducible space. What I am going to show is that S matrix will break it up, okay, into a piece which is x1 x2 plus y1 y2, that is one piece. Then you will have another piece which belongs to A2 and then another piece which belongs to E, which are all binary bases. The binary basis is nothing but the dot product of 2 vectors belongs to your trivial representation. This is like taking dot product of x1 y1 with x2 y2 and you will get it naturally. How will you get this? If you do a projection operator A1, it has to give you this. If you do a projection operator A2, it has to give me this, which is also 1 cross 1. If you do a projection operator E, the projection operator should be, what should be the rank of this projection operator? It is a 2-dimensional projection operator, or it will give you 2 independent bases, which means its a rank is 2. It is a rank 2 projection operator, and the rank 2 projection operator will give you these 2 bases. And why have I said A1, A2 and E? I have not really done it here, but if you try to work this out, you will find it is a direct sum of A1 plus A2 plus E. Okay. I have not really worked it out, but this breaking is using that multiplicity argument. You can check this out. I have not done it here. So, basically I am trying to say that E cross E in the shorthand notation which I am using will turn out to be A1 plus A2 plus E. Okay. So, this is what? This is 2 dimension, this is 2 dimension, it is 4 dimension. This one is 1 dimension, this one is 1 dimension, this is 2 dimension. It breaks up into irreducible subspaces, which is 1 cross 1, 1 cross 1 and a 2 cross 1. The corresponding matrices will be block diagonal. Okay. The corresponding matrices will be block diagonal, with first block diagonal as 1 cross 1, the next one is 1 cross 1, but it belongs to the irrep which is different. If it is 1 cross 1, you can look at the character table and see that it is A2 characters entries, and then the last one will be the conventional 2 dimensional irrep. Okay. So, this is what I am trying to show on the screen here. So, I have explicitly tried to PA1 in the case of C3V group, all the characters are plus 1 using this formula, okay. But now you replace it by all the elements of C3V, okay, and do not worry about this. So, this is what I have written it on the screen here. Order of the group is 6, the dimension of the matrix, dimension of the irrep A1 is 1 cross 1, 1 dimensional irrep, and then all the characters of this A1, which is the unit representation, is all 1. So, you add up all the matrices. I wrote only one matrix, you have to write the matrices for all the elements and add it up. What you get is what you call it as a projection operator for A1. So, I have shown that here PA1 turns out to be this, sorry, this is not right, is that right? Yeah, it is right. So, this is a 4 cross 4 matrix, write the 4 cross 4 matrix, sum it up, and what you get are the projection operator for A1, again do it for using the characters of the irrep E, please check this, okay, and the last one. And you can check that the rank of these matrices are, these two are 1 and 1, and this one will have a rank 2, okay. The immediate step after this is you take an arbitrary vector, just like I took x, y, z or a, b, c, take an arbitrary 4 dimensional vector. You know what is the basis state, right? I am using here the I cap j cap notation, but it is like xy coordinate if you want to take it. So, I1 cap, I2 cap, j1 cap, j2 cap, okay. So, what is happening is that if you do the projection operator for each of the irreps on this arbitrary vector, you get this answer, especially for PE I get this answer, okay. What does it mean? I get a linear combination for arbitrary alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So, this tells me that there are, so this one will be, according to that it will be x1, x2 minus y1, y2, and this one is x1, y2 minus or plus y1, x2. This is this basis for the E projection, and for the A1 anyway I have written, and A2 will be mistake I did, this is minus I have used I1, I2, but it is the same as the I component and the J component, okay. So, the thing which I want you to do is I will put this on Moodle, please check this algebra, it's just to, I have given you the concept today, but unless you work it out all the 4 cross 4 matrices and substitute and check it out, you will not understand what I am saying. So, I have given you this data, this also you should check. You should also check that the projection operator PA1 when operates on an arbitrary alpha, beta, gamma, delta, it gives you only this subspace whose basis is going to be given by x1, x2 plus y1, y2, or I call it as I1, I2 plus j1, j2, okay. And you can check PA2 will give you this and PE will give you this, okay. So, what does that tell me? That I can start writing binary basis. Z squared is a trivial binary basis which will come from A1 cross A1. If you do A1 times A1, you will get a Z squared. How are you getting x squared plus y squared? It is this one, when x1 and x2 are taken to be the same x, you get x squared plus y squared. That comes from the tensor product of E cross E and it belongs to the A1 irrep. Okay. And similarly you can work out all the tensor products. Okay. So, we will anyway this I have already discussed with you. This also I was telling you that typically a system will have a bigger group and then you break it up into a smaller group. Okay. This you can try it out, and there was one more assignment problem which we are supposed to do it, and take a look at this. Essentially you will have a system, sudden perturbation will break it up into a lower symmetry system. Once it does, whatever irrep in which the system was there, it becomes a reducible representation and it will break it up into irreps of the lower group representation. Okay. So, this is what will happen in nature. Okay. So, to sum up what I am trying to tell you, I just wanted to flash this for you since I have done so much. For any system with symmetry group G, Hamiltonian H will commute with the elements of G. That is the definition of saying that if suppose the Hamiltonian has a symmetry, Hamiltonian will commute with every element of this C2 group. The non-trivial element is only the C2 element, Hamiltonian will commute with that. Once it commutes, whenever there is a commutation relation like this, in quantum mechanics, you allow for state psi of x and g psi of x to have the same energy. You all know that, right? If you have operator A and operator B commuting, you can have a simultaneous eigenstates of both operator, the two operators which commute. Here the first operator is Hamiltonian. So, I am saying the energy eigenstates have to be degenerate in general. When will it not be degenerate? If G on psi of x is proportional to psi of x. That is what happens in this harmonic oscillator. G on psi of x is proportional to psi of x, then you will get non-degenerate eigenstate. How do I see it in this irrep language? How do I see it in this irrep language? If it was degenerate, then you will have G of psi of x will be a linear combination of the set of degenerate eigenfunctions. This is known in quantum mechanics. Now, in the irrep language, look at the character table. So, when you take the character table, C3V has 2 one-dimensional irrep, 1 two-dimensional irrep. C2 has 2 one-dimensional irrep. Once you look at this character table, the corresponding matrix representation will have to act on a vector space which will have basis states. So, xi I is what I am calling it as a basis states, where I will run from 1 to L alpha. And what is the meaning? Whenever there is a group symmetry in the system, when I operate this on xi I, it will be a linear combination of xi I. If it is a one dimensional vector space, if L alpha is 1, what is the linear combination available? You do not have any other linear combination. Okay? So, gamma g of psi I and psi I will have to have same energy if the Hamiltonian had the group symmetry, and gamma g of psi I will give you a linear combinations of basis states of that irrep. If there is only a one dimensional irrep, what is the linear combination? So, it is non-degenerate. If you are looking at one dimensional irrep, psi I, when you do gamma on psi I, it better be only proportional to psi I. You cannot get anything linear combination. The linear combination will happen only when you go to C3V or other groups with two dimensional irreps, where the basis will be two dimensional basis or three dimensional basis, depending on what group symmetry we are looking at. Okay, is this clear? So, now with this information, you take a relook at the particle in a two dimensional box. Okay. That is why you start getting degeneracies when you go to two dimensional box, is because of the C4V symmetry, because C4V symmetry will allow for a two dimensional irrep, and then gamma g of psi I will be a linear combination. That is why you start getting degenerate states for 2D harmonic oscillator or 2D particle in a box, but not for a 1D harmonic oscillator. 1D harmonic oscillator has to be non-degenerate because the irreps of the character table are only one dimensional. You cannot get degenerate energy eigenstates. Is this clear? Okay. So, let me stop here.